Today, we're talking with Susan and Lauren of Bark Mountain Pet Resort, and I'm super excited about this conversation because it's an awesome story of going literally from 0 to 100. Two folks that weren't in the pet care industry that are now thriving in the pet care industry. Welcome to you both.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting us.
What kind of put you down the path to get into pet care?
I got my dog Theo, who's about 12 now, but I got him when I was 25, the age where you're just going through a lot. And I didn't really know where I was going, what I was doing, but I got this dog that I knew nothing about. He was a rescue. Literally picked him up off the side of the road. And I started learning about dogs and what they needed and how to take care of them. And we were going to the dog park a lot, and I didn't love it. I didn't love that, sometimes dogs would be there that he didn't get along with. I don't even know if dog daycare was really like a big thing back then. We had talked about a dog park bar because when I went to the dog park, there were people bringing like coolers, but there's no bathroom, so
No running water.
no running water. So we joked about, a dog park bar. We joked about it for years. And then one opened up in our city, and
We thought it was a great idea.
yeah. And so we thought, well, maybe we could do this too.
Well, one day we were driving down the road, not far from here, and it was a car, several people, plus Lauren and myself. And she said, that right there. And she pointed to a piece of property and said, that is where the dog park bar should be. And I said, you know what? We really should talk about doing that. So then Lauren was working at a commercial real estate company. And so she had a lot of resources available to her. And that's when we started just kind of really thinking about it being an option. And I contacted a lender, and the lender actually referred us to the Small Business Development Center.
Council, I think.
Yeah.
It's in Tuscaloosa in our state. It's quite far city. But yeah, they connected us, and
With a man named Norm, and he was so wonderful. He literally held our hand through the whole process.
yeah.
And Lauren, he told us what we needed, and Lauren was able to pull all that together. And during this time, she moved in with me. She quit her job so she could start learning about how to do this business, and started working at facilities all over Alabama.
So you guys started as consumers. You were just pet owners who kind of saw a need, and then you obviously kind of looked around and you maybe used some business services in your area to board the dog over the years. What did you kind of see that was missing in that experience and kind of propelled you forward?
I was working out of state as a nurse, an ER nurse, traveling across the country. And my dog, who I got during the pandemic, she couldn't live in my camper while I was working or stay there because of safety. So I would find places in different areas like Joshua Tree, California, San Jose, and Grants Pass, Oregon, and all the different places I went to. And so I got to experience what was daycare for dogs. And I got to experience all the different options, which was great to see that was something that is really a good option. But in our area, the only thing that they had was like a play all day.
Yeah, and
Well, not real structured.
the quality, I think we both realized that one, the hours were not always conducive for everybody, especially as a nurse. She was having a hard time finding a place, and even now, because she travels still all over the state, and she wants to take Olive with her. And their office hours, they're really designed for people who are working a 9 to 5 job,
Or no,
or who are not working, or not 12-hour shifts. We have in Alabama, our largest employers in the state are our healthcare facilities. And so we have nurses and doctors who can't use dog daycare because the hours are not conducive for them. They can't drop their dog off at 6 a.m. and then pick them up at 6 p.m. In most facilities. And so when we were kind of building this, we really wanted to have that option for those healthcare workers, for the long shifters, the third shifters. And so when we originally opened, we were 24/7 scheduled drop off and pick up. We've kind of condensed that a little bit. That was a huge selling point for us when we first opened, was that, hey, you're traveling, you have a flight at 5 a.m., you can drop your dog off at 4. We'll be here.
So accessibility was like a huge thing. You needed to be accessible to the pet owners in your area. And then also, I think the all day play, you wanted to add a little more structure into that. But maybe to take a step back, I love the approach that you guys kind of divided and conquered. So, Lauren, you actually went and worked at a number of pet care facilities to get firsthand experience, to see different operations. And then, Susan, you traveled around the country visiting what, like 100 different pet care facilities?
Yeah, we had a spreadsheet at one point of all the different places that she had gone and toured, and like we talked about, what it was like as a consumer, the drop off to pick up experience, the experience when the dog came home, what was their attitude, and then also like the smell. Because dog daycares, and they're all owned by different people. They're run by different people. They all have different standards. They're all doing different things. And so
Also a big thing, the smell.
one that my dog was using when he came home, he always came home with my pee-pee feet, and I hated him. And so we really wanted to kind of elevate the experience where it felt like we weren't just here for the dogs, but we're also here for the people, and we care about their experience too.
Yeah, it's about a relationship. And Lauren is great with that. All the pet parents love her. They have like a real personal relationship. And if something is happening in their family, they share it with her. And
Oh, yeah.
we've had people that have gotten separated. We've had people that have gotten married.
And had babies. We had a first baby here, bark down baby, and we boarded their dog while they were in the hospital. And so of course we got the Big Brother bandana for him. And as our families are changing, we're changing our business model as well. So when our first Bark Mountain baby was born, our trainer actually signed up to work with Family Paws, which is specifically to help train pet parents on how to prepare for children in the home. So it teaches them how to teach the children appropriate ways to handle the dogs, to, don't climb on them, don't stick your face in their face. So it teaches parents what to watch out for. And so she's going through this program now because of our families that are growing and changing as well.
Because we're seeing more and more people that are having children and they don't know how to integrate their family, the dogs and the children, and just that lifestyle because it's changed so dramatically. So being able to try to help these parents keep their pups or cats, is a big deal.
Yeah, and you guys can be the resource and the professionals that help kind of bridge that gap. That's awesome. As you kind of worked in the facilities, and then Susan, you traveled around and viewed so many, what were kind of at the top of that list for somebody who maybe is listening to this and just getting started? What are the most important things that were definitely kind of standing out?
The cleanliness, I think, is our number one focus.
It's very expensive to keep a place like this clean.
It is. And I understand now, like, why my dog came home with little pee-pee feet,
But you do the best you can.
do the best that you can.
Accidents do happen. And as long as every time my dog would get in the car at certain locations, and still, even when I travel and she goes, that still happens, she always wants to get on the armrest right next to me. And those little paws inevitably smell that, That's a huge part of it. But one of the things that we talked about to begin with was all day play versus structured rotational play. And we learned a lot, the 2 years of planning doing a business.
We did the dog gurus. I took their facility management course, loved it, learned about the more, doggy daycare 2.0, where it's more structured rotation play rather than a bunch of dogs in a yard. And I think for some dogs that works. All day play works for some dogs. It works for some facilities. But personally, we just really wanted our dogs to get that rest. And then it just works better with our facility as well.
We love the enrichment as well. That's something we've learned a lot about.
The staff love to do the enrichment. It's a great way for them to really get to know the dogs. That's our biggest selling point, I think, is the individualized care. We get to know every single dog that comes in the facility, what they like, what they don't like, what they will go crazy for.
And who they like.
Yes.
Sometimes they like a certain dog, but then they don't like that same dog the next day.
Yes. Yes. And we have a whiteboard that's just all these notes about every single dog, and we're updating them constantly, and we use Goose, and so we're updating Goose, and it's on their run cards. It's just that personalized attention for every dog is so much fun, and it's so rewarding. And I think that sometimes we lose that in the all-day play structure because they're just playing and you're there to manage the group, but you're not getting to really build any sort of relationships with the dogs. And I work, like you said, I've worked at a few different facilities, and I worked at a rotation facility, and I've worked at several all-day play facilities, and the all-day play was fine, but I also did not love the amount of dogs that I was trying to manage. Yeah. There would be like 30 dogs to one person, and it just felt like I was fighting a battle that I was never going to win.
So that was another big thing that we wanted to structure our facility, was a lower ratio dog and Bart Ranger, as we call them, ratio.
When you guys are spending that additional structured time with each pet, it allows better communication to the pet owner, because the pet owner is not there, right? They don't know what's happening. And then that often opens up that line of communication where you can really communicate to the pet owner exactly, specifics about that dog, right? And then they know that you know their dog. And I think that adds a lot of value down the line.
Or the messaging on Goose is wonderful for the parents. They use it a lot.
Yeah.
And they will say, well, how is, Sophie doing today? Is she having a good day? And the fact that everybody knows that dog, if they come up front, we can say, well, how's Sophie doing? And, message right back. This is great.
So you worked in the facilities. Susan, you traveled around and viewed hundreds of facilities. What was the point where you were like, let's dive in, let's do it, right? I mean, it was a career change for you, Lauren, like big time, of really taking that leap. What was the moment where you decided to do that? And what was kind of the first steps in getting that going?
I'm going to give all the credit to the Small Business Development Council. I think if somebody really is interested in doing this, reach out to them.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was ever a point where we were like, okay, this is going to happen.
And
It happened.
But Lauren, I will also say, she's the one that pulled all these numbers that she had access to because of her background that I would have never known how to do.
Oh, yeah. Find somebody in commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Because they will help you.
But it's also helpful to know, because not just because they're in commercial real estate, but Lauren knew how to find what she needed to find. So Lauren would say what, and then she would know how to find.
Yeah, he taught me how to build our business plan. I didn't know how to make a business plan. So he taught me how to do that. He reviewed it with me multiple times.
Made us changes in certain places because he knew what the lenders were looking for.
So you had business plan in hand, and then you were ready to go build or buy. What was the decision there?
We had never done this before, and we were looking for a place to rent.
It was rough.
Yeah, finding a place that, first of all, somebody's going to let you rent their building and do this type of business in location that's going to be, and Lauren knows about the location. I sold real estate years ago, so I was picky about it. But then the size, because we wanted to do a dog park bar and the dog daycare boarding and all.
Oh, yeah. Because, once we got into the numbers and we started really doing the math, it just financially wouldn't have been feasible to just do the dog park bar. So we were hoping that we could kind of have because that's what we wanted. We wanted to do the dog park bar, but it just didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. We're still going to do it.
We had big plans for the future.
Very big plans for the future, but it was, finding a place that you could lease that was going to let us have the dogs in the building was really difficult. And in the location that we wanted, because we live here, we live in this city, and I want it to be close by because if an emergency happens, I need to be here. And that was the hardest part of the entire thing, was finding a building.
It took 2 years of heavy looking.
Yeah.
And the buildings that we would find would be great for the dog facility or the dog park bar. We really struggled with finding a good match. So that's why we decided to just go with the daycare and boarding facility. And it really, it really opened up because Lauren was working at this facility and it just became a good opportunity. The business wasn't doing as well, but the location was primo. So,
Yeah, we cannot beat this location. We really looked out on the location. I mean,
and we paid way more than we should have, but
yeah.
You ultimately landed with just overtaking an existing facility and then rebranding with your brand and then making updates.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what I've been trying to fight is because when you take a business over, sometimes that's great. And other times you're fighting what was already here and trying to convince people it's not just new management. It's like new owners.
Yeah,
Everything is different.
everything is different. I mean, we still have people that call thinking that we're the old owners that have just rebranded. And oh no. We're totally different. We changed everything. Not to say that the former facility was not great. Just,
It's a different.
very different. And so it was play all day. Now we're not, we had different types of enclosures. Now we've upgraded those. So we've done a lot of upgrades to the building. Like we had concrete play yards and we put down turf. So we've really we've made a lot of improvements, and I think some of the former clients are finally, even after it's been over a year now, are still learning that, hey, no, things are different. Okay, we can try this.
We did an open house too with different play groups so the dogs could come with their parents.
Oh yeah, that's
And
really
they got to meet each other and the dogs could play in the play yard. So they were really impressed. It always blows my mind how thankful and how wonderful these pet parents are to us. They're great.
Yeah, it's really a great industry to be in for the most part. I think it's enjoyable. So you got the keys, you made the purchase, you step inside, and what are you mentioned you put down turf, you replaced some enclosures, but you obviously wanted to put your touch on it and kind of make it yours. How did you kind of manage those changes while still operating the business and then also kind of orienting the clientele that, hey, there are changes going on, but we're going to make it for the better and kind of work them through that?
Well, first we had to paint.
Oh yeah,
Then, yeah. And then after that, the doors were open and everybody was like, can we come in?
Yeah, it took a little while because originally the clients would pull up in the parking lot. They would text like a office cell phone. So-and-so's here. Staff would come out, get the dog, bring them inside. There was a sign on the door, lobby is closed, do not enter.
We took that off. That was the first thing.
The first thing we did, yeah. It felt like we needed to not only just change things, but we had to fight against what other people had already assumed about it. And so we did have to come back from a reputation. There was a reputation and we had to.
That was post-COVID,
Yeah, like COVID kind of messed everything up. And so and the former facility that was here was mostly training. And so they had a reason to keep the lobby closed, to keep dogs from interacting in the lobby. But as a daycare client, you don't know that. You don't know that there's a reason and that it's a good reason and that it makes sense. So you just think you're not allowed in there. They don't want you in there. Yeah. And so we worked really hard to
overcome that. And we want everybody to feel like they can come in anytime and tour, or they know that a random stranger can come in and have a tour. So their dogs are always going to be watched over, even by just strangers touring the facility.
Yep.
Yeah, open door policy, I think, is great. I think showing that you have nothing to hide, right? And come on in, take a look around, let your nose be your guide in a lot of cases. So as you kind of got your bearings and started operating, what were maybe some hardships or obstacles that you faced that you didn't kind of foresee that came up?
Everything.
The biggest thing is, you know how you get your belly, your eyes are bigger than your belly type. We had what we thought was a gigantic budget. Ooh, and then we got to put it on paper, and that was nothing.
I have so much money.
No. Everything is so expensive, and we had to demo a lot of it, so it was a lot of elbow grease. And then just doing painting, which we had parents.
Yeah, but we did the community work days, and parents came in and they helped hang. We put down some rubber mats in one of our indoor play yards, and they sealed the mats with us and helped us lay the turf. I mean, And I
You're sweet.
think that that also helped them feel like they were a part of their dog's enjoyment.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they put in this work, but their dog gets to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, it gave them a sense of ownership over this as well. And that's kind of what we want. We want people to feel, we want people to buy in, and they have fully bought in. And
I know. I kept walking around going, they're paying us and they're going to help us. It was so weird, you know?
yeah, they're
That's great though, because you want to be part of the community, and what better way to kind of integrate with the community than to invite them in and kind of put paint on the wall. That's awesome.
They're so sweet.
so wonderful.
So wonderful.
You guys kind of have it where you're rocking and rolling. You're going along and have it in a good spot where everything's kind of humming. What's next for you? Where's this gonna go?
Well, we're actually kind of in that place right now. We've
Having to make some major changes because
we've
we're at
maxed out our occupancy.
just at the space that we have available. We have plenty of square footage. We just need more,
Panels, more,
what we call them, cabin.
yeah, more cabins.
What is your daily occupancy for daycare and boarding? Kind of what's the scale?
So when we first opened, our daycare numbers were about 25 a day with maybe 3 or 4 boarders. So we were looking at about 30 dogs a day.
And that doesn't include our fosters, because we're working we were working with one, now we're working with 2 of them
Yes.
to try to help our community, with their dogs. I love that. But we'd have 2 or 3 of those at a time as well.
Yeah, so we're averaging, so we started out at about 30-ish dogs a day, and now we are looking at about 60 to 70 dogs a day.
And we over 80 sometimes, but not often.
Not often. Yeah, our max occupancy is about 65. We have about 65 enclosures, various types of enclosures. We have some that were from the previous owner that we are working on phasing out and replacing with Mason brand kennels. We love the Mason kennels. They're just pricey.
But
So
they're worth it, really.
every penny. Worth every.
Oh, and the first ones we bought, I got off of a resale. So we saved quite a bit of money with that too. That's anybody that's looking to do something like this, you can really find a lot of things like that.
Secondhand.
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace is great too.
Yeah, I think investing in those is well worth the money. In any high quality enclosures, just and we say buy it nice or you're going to buy it twice.
The other thing that we are working on, because we're, growth hump is where we are. And we opened up our grooming now. So we have a groomer and we have a bathing tub, and we've got a table, but we really need, to get our grooming kind of expand a little bit on that. So we have some opportunities for growth because we have the square footage, we have the space. We just have to come up with some more funds,
Yeah, we're kind of like, yeah, we're plateauing, I guess is what you could say. We've got a plateau right now, but that's fine because it's summer. So we're about to pick right back up. Yeah. But yeah, we're hitting 100% occupancy every day.
That's great. And when did you take possession of the location?
April 18th of 2025. So it took us about a year to get up to 100% occupancy.
That's amazing. So you've grown very well over that time after taking possession. Are you going to continue with that location?
Well, we're in the place right now where we would like to go ahead and do something like move or purchase the building, one of the two.
Yeah, we've got 6 years left on our lease. We signed a 7-year lease.
That went with all the loan and stuff from the small business SBA loan.
Yes. So we've got 6 years left here. We are trying to figure out if we want to invest more into this building, not owning it, or if it would be better for us to, now that we're established and we're reaching our goals, we're hitting our numbers, and we're doing decently well here, it might be time to consider looking at either building ground up or purchasing a building.
That was what our lender did recommend because of the cost of our lease.
The rent it's the only option when we were starting, just because we're not established.
Yeah.
And it would have been a big risk to purchase land. And we wanted to make sure that we could do it.
But after a year, The lender says that, any of the lenders that we've spoken to, after a year, as long as you have the income and everything, then you can do a lot more with that.
Well, that's awesome. You guys have definitely kind of proved it out and have hit your stride. That's great to hear. I love hearing stories like this.
I didn't know we were going to make it.
Every day, that first year, every day was it felt like we were like walking uphill in quicksand every morning. I came in here and I was here every day for 14, 15 hours a day and working and overnights. And
We have come a long way, but we're just going to keep growing and keep growing. One of the big things when we first started was we were using, was it Pet Exec?
yeah, we were on Pet Exec.
And I told Lauren, I said, I really want, before we even opened the facility, I said, I want our people to be able to just do anything they want to online. They can go online. They don't have to call us. And so when we first tried, I said, there's this new one I heard about called Goose.
Yeah, we've heard it through Fern on
Yeah.
Overdall. We love Fern.
Love Burn, yeah. So Lauren started checking into it, and she found that it could do all the things that we had talked about. So
Yeah, we love Goose.
That's awesome. I'm glad we can kind of be a part of it. And what has that experience been like, allowing your customers to self-service online and kind of cut down on phone calls? Is that a real thing?
I love it.
Can't tell you how exciting it is to open my email, because I wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I open my email and I have 5 new boarding bookings that came in overnight that I didn't have to do anything for.
Yeah, and we have discovery days too. So that's our dogs that have never been here before. We will have people go on there and sign up, and we've never seen them before. So we know that we have a new dog coming. So we get to find out all about it's just exciting to know that we have these great opportunities coming,
Yes.
without even having to do anything.
Yeah.
Effortless customer acquisition, right? Because people just want to jump online, kind of self-service, do it themselves, and don't want to hit 1,000 different fields to fill out and just to bring in their dog for an introductory day.
And it is controllable too. So Lauren can turn it on and off certain parts of it.
Yeah. When we start getting real close to hitting our occupancy and I know we're getting full, I'm like, let me just go ahead and black those dates out, because I do like to save a couple of enclosures for our members who maybe have a last minute thing come up. So we always keep something set aside for them. And so that gives us the opportunity to do that.
And Lauren is so great. She has a relationship with these clients that if something emergent happens and they call her, it goes to her phone.
And it goes to my cell phone. And a lot of them have my cell phone number too.
Yeah. And then like somebody had a death in the family and they needed an emergency boarding for the family's dog that's not even come here. And Lauren's like, well, let's work this out. We want to be the place that is known for being,
Top-notch customer service.
like Disney-fi. Isn't that what we do?
Yeah. And I think that Goose gives us that opportunity to do that as well, because the texting and
Yes,
and
absolutely.
the notes, we can, keep up with all of that. So when something crazy happens, it's like, okay, wait, this has happened before. It's right here. We know what's going on. And so that helps streamline the process a lot. We really want to be we want to be the Taylor Swift of the dog boarding industry.
I love the online option.
I do too. Oh my God. And then it's just all right there. I can run the reports. I can plan my labor. Memorial weekend is upon us. I was able to look at all of my arrivals, departures every day. I can plan my schedule. That wasn't an option on Pet Exec. It was a calendar, which was helpful, but it didn't have a number. And so you had to go through and count every single dog. And so being able to see, okay, I have 13 dogs checking in this day. I have met 4 of them. So that means that we're going to need an extra staff member because these are new dogs. We don't know them. They probably need a little extra when they come in. And so I'm able to use that. And it's just, leaps and bounds. Just
Somebody listening to this and is thinking about getting into pet care, maybe they're not even in the industry or have no experience, what would be your number one advice? Is it to go around like Susan and visit a lot of facilities, to dive in and actually get firsthand work experience like you, Lauren? Or what's kind of the first stepping stone to giving somebody some firsthand advice here?
I would work in a facility. And even working in those facilities, I wasn't necessarily prepared for this to be an owner, to be an operating owner.
But I told her, I said, you need to go and do it.
Because so many things can happen in a day.
Oh,
And they will all happen at the same time in that day.
And then being the person that has to make all the decisions, totally different.
It is. It is really different. And that's one thing that I really, really benefited from, like working in these other facilities, is I asked the managers a lot of questions. And I told them from the get-go, hey, this is my goal. I want to open my own facility. I want to know how to do these things. And so everybody in the industry is so nice. For the most part, they're like, well, here, yeah, let me teach you. Let me show you. One manager had to teach me how to induce vomiting because a dog had eaten a silicone cupcake wrapper for a snack.
Treat, yeah, the treat was on it. And instead of just eating the treat, it ate the whole
thing. And so you are never going to stop learning in this industry. That's what I've learned. And so the more you can learn before you get into it and you have to be the one to make the decisions, learn from somebody who has had to make those decisions.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you probably discover not only things that you like, but you also see things that you don't like and that you don't want to do. And so it's a great balance of kind of knowing the direction you want to take.
Yes, and the cleaners I think was a big one for us too.
what kind of cleaner to keep the germs.
That was like the first thing I asked everybody was like, okay, what do we use to clean this, and what do we use to clean this? Because dogs are germy. They're like toddlers. It's just like taking your kid to human daycare. They're gonna come home with germs. They're gonna come in with germs. What are we using to combat that? And there's so many options in this industry, then they're all different. They all have different benefits. They all have different price points.
One of the things we just recently added was an actual sanitizer solution. So the bowls are clean, but then they're also put in a sanitizer as well.
Mm-hmm. And Susan's great at finding these like one-off things that we need. Like I didn't even think because we wash the bowls and we wash them in hot water. Why do we need to sanitize them? But now we sanitize every single bowl. And I hate to say it, but we're learning as we go as well. We had 2 years of research and experience and market research and
all the training for the goose to prepare doing your own.
Yeah, I did. Dog
Glamorous.
We're doing Pack Crow now.
And we went out to Hershey. I was so excited about that.
Yeah, we did the extra.
Actually, the person that told me about that was one of the facilities I met in Anniston. She was a groomer, a daycare facility, and she was boarding as well. And she was telling me that I needed to go. And so that was on our list, and she was right. We learned so much.
And you never
made new friends in this industry too.
Yeah, continuous learning. And I think Hershey is a great event for anybody who's kind of interested in getting a care space. There's so many resources that can be just captured in that short 3 days that you're there. And then like you said, you meet so many other people like you, and you guys can share stories and learn from each other in those environments. And everybody, like you mentioned, also is so helpful and so accommodating, and to kind of share what works for them and what they've tried and what didn't work and what did work and so on. I really appreciate you guys sharing the story. It's, I think, helpful for anybody to kind of just hear a perspective of somebody who started at 0 and went to 100. And I love following you guys and seeing where this goes. Undoubtedly, you're going to have wild success. So thanks again for taking the time.
You don't know much, Chris.
Yes, thank you.